Hi, everybody. Welcome to the bustling metropolis of Bluff City, Kansas. I thought that we'd break things up. We've been going at it pretty hard, looking at all these general conference talks. There's just so much to dig into, so many gems, and it's just going to keep going for a while. But I wanted to take a little break, go on a walk. I actually want to do more of these videos, walking out in the country or these small towns, or when I go to Utah, explore temple grounds. So I want to do more of these, and it's that time of year. If you've been watching my channel since the beginning, you know that I do an annual Halloween rant, and actually toward the end of this video, it does get a little bit spooky, one of the places that we discover, so I guess it's kind of fitting. It's not really a rant because I enjoy Halloween. I was recently talking to Caitlin with Anticipating Christ's Return, and she told me how she loves Halloween. It reminds her of her mom growing up. And so this is nothing against anybody that enjoys Halloween. I myself enjoy Halloween. There's Jenica. We were both going on this walk and going on this little mini adventure. So I want to talk about three things. I want to talk about the extreme attitude that goes against Halloween, where people are like, no, we should not celebrate Halloween at all. It's evil. It's of the devil, and the church shouldn't have Halloween parties. And then after that, I want to talk about the opposite extreme, which is where people really relish Halloween and they go all out, and then they probably go a little bit too far and get too much into the darker aspects of Halloween. And then after that, I want to share what I feel is my moderate approach and all the things that I enjoy about Halloween. And I want to share some of the songs that I have on my Halloween playlist. I'm not going to play them because I can't. It'd be a copyright strike. But I want to tell you what I have. And I'd appreciate if you share with me whatever you might have for your Halloween playlist. But I really like these songs, so that'll be at the end. Okay, so let's talk about the extreme where there's the attitude that Halloween should not be celebrated at all, whatsoever. The most recent time that I came across this in my personal life with somebody that I knew was actually back in the Army. It was my sergeant. Her name was Sergeant Johnson. I was in supply. We worked in the supply room of the company that I was in. And she was very Christian and everything. And she wouldn't celebrate the holidays. And there was something that was really off-putting to me in that because, I don't like extremes. I feel like when you go off in any extreme, usually, unless it's like righteousness, because okay, so you have righteousness and you have good and evil, right? You want to go toward good, but you also have things that are not necessarily good or evil. They're just opposites, or they're kind of like on a spectrum. A good example of that is you have justice and mercy. Neither one of those are good or evil. They're both necessary, but you have to have the proper balance. And when you have justice and mercy, when they come together, you get Christ and you get the atonement, and you have where those two worlds combine so as to permit you to progress eternally, right? And so I think there's a lot of things out there that are neither good nor evil unless you take it to an extreme. And in this case, I don't think it's good to get really extreme with the holidays. If you don't want to celebrate the holidays, that's your choice. But I guess you have to kind of look inside yourself and ask, why is it that you're against the holidays and you're trying to get other people not to celebrate holidays, or you shame people who celebrate the holidays? I don't think that that's necessarily right. In my mind, with things like this, always goes to narcissism. It goes to people that they live a lifestyle where all the attention, all the energy needs to come to them. They're very prideful. And in my mind, narcissism and wickedness is the same thing. I don't necessarily look at it from a psychological standpoint. But if you're somebody that's focused on yourself and you want all the attention on you, all the validation on you, the praise, whatever, you want to feel special, then you can see how there's a problem when the holidays come around. Because I'd have to think about it, but probably with most holidays, you start to focus on others. So in the case of Halloween, it may be that you, as an insecure person, you go to a Halloween party and you think that you have a really good costume, but then you go there and somebody has a better costume and everybody's giving them all the attention, and then it makes you feel bad. Well, a healthy person will say, I'm really happy for them. I'm happy that that they did such a good job with their costume and people are giving them compliments, and you're happy for other people's success, right? So Halloween, maybe it's costumes. Christmas, maybe it's gifts. You're jealous that somebody else got what you perceive to be a better gift, right? And so this is one reason why people may not like the holidays. If you're like a prideful person, you're a narcissist, you don't like when other people outdo you. Or, with Christmas or Halloween, both of them together, there's a lot of focus, there's a lot of focus placed on the children, right? So for Halloween, it's trick-or-treating. For Christmas, it's Santa Claus and stuff like that. And yes, there are adults that do not like attention going to children. They think it's silly. They think it's nonsense. And children really take a lot of the attention, whether it's the holidays or something else. Look at all the attention that we're getting from these goats as we walk by. I don't think they see very many people walking by on the street. This is probably like a first for them. And by the way, goats are no fun. At least in my experience, the goats that we only had them for a short time, and then we switched to cows, and that was a great choice. Anyway, so it could come down to attention. I think I've seen some people where they kind of turn it around. They'll take the holidays and then they'll go all out so that they guarantee that the attention stays on them. So I think sometimes, I'm not saying that you're bad if you do this, but I think sometimes when you see these like really big holiday displays, whether it's Christmas lights, or it feels like it's becoming more popular for like really grandiose Halloween decorations, like you're getting like these bigger and bigger displays. I think maybe in some of those cases, it's somebody that's trying to keep the attention on themselves. They're trying to outdo their neighbors, or possibly the entire city or metro area. It's like, yeah, come to my place because I have, the best Christmas light display in Wichita or whatever. So you can see how a prideful, narcissistic person may turn that around in their favor. But I don't know that everybody goes through all that effort, and so it's easier just to dislike the holidays and rain on everybody's parade, right? There's also the money aspect of it. So if you're already kind of like turned off, so I remember this with the sergeant that I was just talking about. She didn't buy her kids any Christmas presents, and I realized that we need to give, but it's appropriate to get your kids Christmas presents and get each other Christmas presents, because in so doing, you are giving, and you're also bringing some fun and joy to your family and to your loved ones. And her justification was that, no, we need to focus on giving and not be selfish. And I feel like that was just kind of extreme, frankly. I think that was extreme. And it could have been, I'm not going to lie, she was a little bit on the toxic side. She never accepted any blame for anything. So that's always a red flag to me when people don't ever admit that they're wrong ever. But I think that it could have been a disdain for the holidays, but it also could have boiled down to money. It's like, if you're not going to put the resources into going all out on the holidays, then you go the other way. It's like, well, I'm not going to spend money on this, and I'm going to mask it and make it look like, oh, well, I'm actually taking the higher road. Like, all of you are wrong in doing that. You should be focusing on, charity and giving rather than receiving. So I feel like it's an extreme, those type of things. So let's see. And then the other thing, I know sometimes it gives people heartburn when it comes to the church having Halloween parties, but you guys, let's excuse me, let's stay in the mainstream of the church. The church knows what it's doing. It's being led by Christ. And if the church feels it's okay to have fun Halloween parties, then it's okay. It's kind of like the story of studying the ark. You're trying to correct the church, where it's like, no, we don't correct the church. The Lord is in control. He controls the church through the leadership of the church. And so just let it be. It makes a lot of people happy, and it can be very, very wholesome. It's a good way to connect with other ward members, kind of see their silly side and just kind of have fun together. And it's also a really good opportunity to invite people who are not members of the church to the church to have some fun. All these church activities, they are for our benefit. It's for morale and for us to feel united as a ward or a stake. But it's also a very good missionary opportunity when you invite your friends that aren't members of the church to these activities. So I think there's a lot of good that comes from church Halloween parties and everything else, whatever other activities you may have. So anyway, so that's the one side. That's the one extreme. The other extreme is where you just really relish Halloween, especially like the darker aspects of it. And that's kind of where things get a little bit more, like even more disturbing to me, because one of the main aspects of Halloween is that you wear a costume, right? You're not your true self, and that's okay. That's the point, is to have fun, wear costumes. But sometimes I think people lean into that a little bit too much. And okay, guys, here comes the scary part. This mysterious road right here. Where does it go? I've seen people kind of like let loose when they have a mask on, especially like when their head or their face is covered. I've seen people in my life like really let loose and kind of almost like become somebody else, and not just like fun, like, acting, but like, no, like they're really, really letting loose. I remember one person one time when they put this full costume on that was head to toe. It was like a jumpsuit with a mask that went over your head. This person just like became somebody else, and it was a little disconcerting. But you have that like anonymity where when people can't see you, you feel like you have anonymity. You do things that you normally wouldn't do. There's a lot of that in the comments section. The comment section can get really, really toxic, but it can happen in real life too. When you're wearing costumes. And then of course there's like all these ways that people seem to indulge their dark fantasies. And sometimes it can get really disturbing. It can get gory and scary and just outright evil. So for example, I personally don't think that any member of the church should dress up as the devil or a demon, for example. In fact, if anything, I feel like that invites that kind of thing when you do that. I'll bet there's a lot of, Satan and his followers being attracted to certain people and their behaviors around Halloween, but especially when you dabble in that kind of thing. But just like the blood and gory stuff, I always bring up Spirit Halloween, how it just seems like every year you just get more and more gory and just horrific stuff, like really disturbing things. Some people will try and cover it up and be like, oh, well, look at me, I'm not scared of that. And kind of like take pride in being desensitized. But that's kind of a not that smart of a thing, because I don't know that anybody that's proud to lose their senses, like to lose their sight or their hearing or their smell. It's like you saying, look at me, look how blind I am. It doesn't bother me. I can look at the sun. We have our senses for a reason. And if there's things that are not disturbing you that should, then there could be something wrong with the way that you're living your life and what you think is acceptable. And I feel like you can see that in people at Halloween time. Let's see. This kind of goes along with like horror movies. I don't think all scary movies are bad, but some of them are really, really, really bad. And it makes me question what is going on in the people's minds that create these movies. Because someone has to think it up. Even if it's not real, somebody has to have those ideas. And there's some of those things I don't think should be in anybody's mind. Anyway, I know that for some, and I think it's like this for some narcissists and also psychopaths, where they don't really feel much. They don't feel like good emotions. They mostly just feel anger, or they don't feel anything at all. And so they will do extreme things, whether it's like watching scary movies or doing extreme sports just so that they feel something. And I don't know that those are the healthiest ways to take care of that problem. Anyway, I could talk a lot more about that, but anyway, there's the other characteristics of Halloween that are just, the general idea is like it's about fear, trick or treat, like give me something or else I'm going to do something bad to you, which of course it doesn't happen, but that's what it's rooted in. And then we've talked about costumes and everything being fake, not real. It's not good to live in delusion. It's okay. Like it's okay to indulge in like some fiction, like if you do it moderately, and wearing costumes is fine, but like ultimately it's delusion. It's fake. It's not real. And hopefully you limit that in your life. Some people, they are fake 24/7, always putting on a show, and that's not good. Okay, so now we're getting toward the end here. Let me talk about what I do enjoy about Halloween. I like Halloween colors. There's just something that, I don't know if it's just nostalgia, but I think it's fun seeing the black and orange and purples and stuff like that. I actually like the Halloween lights. I think it's fun. I love fog machines. They're just fun. I like the smell of it. And I do like costumes, and I like costume stores. I like it when people do a really good job and put a lot of effort into it. So I feel like it just depends on why you're doing it rather than what you do. If you're doing it to just show off or to harvest attention from people, that's probably not the best thing. But if you're doing it just for fun, you want to make other people happy, you want to have a good time, you're doing it for wholesome reasons, then that's great. I love candy. It's kind of a dangerous time of the year for me because I like all candy except for those crappy, like nondescript, like they come in like black and orange wrappers. Like some are black wrappers, some are orange, and it's like this brown taffy like stuff. I don't know why they still make those. I don't do it anymore. Well, no, I've helped my kids. When I grew up, after trick-or-treating, we would do like a candy trade, like me and my brother. And I've kind of participated in that with my kids. And they'll give me the candy that they don't like, which is usually Twizzlers and some other things. I love Twizzlers. But I think candy trading is fun. Let me know if you've done that before. I like spending time with family and with friends. I love that Halloween is in autumn. I love the fall colors. I like the temperature. And I like how it's the beginning of the holidays. The last part of the year for me, from like mid-September on, is kind of a magical time for me. I love the year coming to an end. Just for the same exact reason that I like this time of day that I'm walking right here. I like things coming to an end and just calming down and getting just kind of like relaxing. And I like that. That's how I feel about the end of the year. And I like looking forward to Thanksgiving and Christmas. I like pumpkin carving. We haven't done it for a while. I like it, but I also kind of don't like it because it takes work, but I do like it. And occasionally I like going to haunted houses just because sometimes it's a fun environment, except for when things get overly gory, scary, evil. I don't like that, but it is kind of fun to be startled and jump scares and stuff like that. Okay, and then let me tell you my favorite songs on our Halloween playlist. So of course we have Thriller by Michael Jackson. I really like I Miss You by Blink-182. That is a great song. I mean, I just like it. I like how it sounds. Not so much the subject matter, but it's like that with a lot of songs. Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters theme, that's classic. I like Crazy by Gnarls Barkley. That reminds me of my early marriage. And I feel like it's it goes well with Halloween. Ghost Riders in the Sky. I love that. Walk Like an Egyptian by the Bengals. I think that's a classic. Not that it's like Halloween, but you know, it puts the idea in your head of like Egyptians and stuff. Men in Black, Will Smith. Somebody's Watching Me, Rockwell. It's one of those type of songs. It's good. And then the last one is Dead Man's Party by Oingo Boingo. All right, guys, that's going to be for this one. So if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also, make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.